Hello students, so this is our introductory session regarding current electricity. So in this video we are going to mainly do the introductory part of this chapter, current electricity, and see that what is the basic difference between the static electricity and current electricity. In this part also we are going to recapitulate our previous lessons, so that we can get a holistic knowledge of it. So let us first discuss about what we have learned in class 8. We have seen that if you rub a plastic comb against dry hair and then bring it close to some paper pieces, these paper pieces get attracted towards this plastic comb, right? What does it happen? You have learned there that when the plastic comb is rubbed against your dry hair, it loosens or gains some electrons, and that is how it gains some electricity. Now, since this electricity cannot change its place, suppose this is a plastic rod. All of you are quite aware that plastic rod cannot conduct electricity. So therefore, if you give some charge in this place, say plus charge, then the plus charges will remain there. They will be confined in this place forever. They will not be able to move through this rod. Okay, so therefore these charges are called stationary charges, and this kind of electricity is called static electricity, since the electricity cannot flow. Whereas we are talking about current electricity. Current means flow. So the electricity that we are talking about is a current electricity in which the charges can flow from one place to another. Now, in our previous classes we have seen that charges are mainly of two types: positive and negative, right? So in atoms the negative charges are called electrons, and in nucleus the positive charges are nothing but protons, right? So we have seen that electrons and protons have got almost similar, they have got exactly same amount of charge. The amount of charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. For electrons there will be a negative sign in front of this charge, and for protons there will be a positive sign in front of this charge. Okay, and we have seen that the mass of electron was 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, whereas that for proton was near about 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. So there is a 2000 times the mass of the proton was nearly about 2000 times that of an electron. Now the question is, if you bring two electrons close to each other, you will see that they are repelling each other. But the question is that you have learned in Newton's gravitational law that any two objects having certain masses, because you know that these electrons have got masses and each measures 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, right? This amount. So any material having masses, any two such materials having certain masses, they attract each other. Due to Newton's gravitational law, we could understand this. So these electrons are attracting each other. Again, due to the electrostatic force, they are repelling each other, because you have learned in class 8 that two like charges repel each other and two unlike charges attract each other. So therefore the question is that why is the repulsion that is the winner? Because you will ultimately see that the electrons are resulting in repelling each other only. You will not be able to observe their attraction. The question is why. If you calculate the amount of attraction, the attraction will be near about 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 67 Newton. This is the gravitational attraction, whereas the repulsion is 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 24 Newton. Observe the orders carefully. This is 10 to the power minus 67 and this is 10 to the power minus 24. So this is quite smaller number. So therefore the attraction is quite weak compared to that of repulsion. Therefore although they are attracting each other due to the gravitational force, their repulsion due to the electrostatic force is quite dominant, and that is why the electrons are ultimately repelling each other. Now we are talking about their dimensionality and the relation between the current and time also. All of you have already learned the definition in class in class 8, that current is defined as the rate of flow of charge, right? So for any normal conducting material, the electrons are ultimately the particles, those are carrying the electricity, so therefore we can write I as E by T, right? So therefore the dimensionality of electric charge will be how much? You know that to calculate the dimension you have to write the quantity within the third bracket, so therefore you are getting dimension of I into dimension of T. Now the dimension of I is considered to be A, and dimension of time is capital T, so therefore A into T is the dimensionality of the electric charge. Okay, acha. So that is all about this introductory part. Let me mention one more thing. The unit of charge is coulomb. You can write it as simply capital C also. And one more important topic that you have learned, that whenever there is a charge exchange, means suppose there are two bodies, suppose there is a body A and there is another body B, and they are exchanging charge, that is A is giving some charge to B or B is giving some charge to A. This charge exchange has to be some integer multiple of E. What is E? E is the charge of one electron. Okay, so integer multiple means it can be either 2E, it can be either 3E, it can be 1E, it can be 100E, whatever, but it has to be some integral multiple, not fractions like half. It has to be always whole integer multiples like 1E, 2E, 3E, 100E and so on. It can never be E by 2, never. It can never be 7E by 2, never. 3.7E, never. It is never possible. Always whole number multiples of E. Whenever there will be some electron exchange, there will be some charge exchange, it has to be some whole integer multiples of E, not any fraction multiple of E. Okay, always remember that. This concept is called charge quantization. In our next video, we shall discuss about Coulomb's force, Coulomb's law and its mathematical derivation, and many more associated topics. Thank you. Take care.